Bhagavaram Samma Sambuddho Swagato Ayena Bhagavanta Dhammo Supatipano Yasa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Tamayang Bhagavantam Sandaman Sasangan Ime Sakari Yadaram Arupite Abhipujayama Sadhuno Bante Bhagava Sutira Bharini Bhutopi Pajima Janata Nogamba Manasa Ime Sakare Dugata Panaka Nabute Pati Gannato Amma Kandi Garatan Etaya Sukaya Arang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhan Bhagavantan Abhivadimi Swagato Bhagavantan Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavanto Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Mayang Buddhasa Bhagavanto Bhavantanama Karangaro Masi Namo Tassa Bhagavanto Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavanto Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
So, very good. So very nice to see everyone again online and here. So please now everyone, both here and online, sit up nicely, good posture, and be prepared to remain absolutely still for the next 55 minutes or so. And you close your eyes, and as you close your eyes, you leave behind all that you've been doing and thinking about, worrying about, everything. And we commence as usual by bringing to mind the Buddha, recollecting our perfect teacher and example, reminding ourselves of his mind that was free from all defilement, all corruption, and indeed far away, far distant from any of that kind of stuff. A mind too of great compassion, a truly wonderful being, often described as perfect in knowledge and conduct. Now just contemplate that for a moment, that mind, and compare it to your own, and your own tendency to greed and aversion and anger and egotism. And consider how wonderful a mind like the Buddha's really is. And be inspired to do your best to cultivate your mind to be like that. And remember that on this journey, to try to maintain an attitude of loving kindness and compassion. Even when you see areas of your being you don't like or are ashamed of, be kind to yourself and caring of yourself. And all the while remind yourselves of your merits, your good qualities, and be pleased with them. And be accepting of things as they are. And the same with others. Be kind, be caring, appreciate their good qualities, their merits, but accept them for just who and what they are. And remember that this human condition in which we find ourselves, for all its benefits, for all its extraordinary advantages and pleasures, is still subject to time. And as time passes, inevitably, we are all getting older, by the minute, by the hour, by the day, and there's no turning the clock back at all. Life hath but one direction, and time's its only measure. And during our lifetime, well, at any time, we can catch some bug, something go wrong that we never knew was there, meet with an just remember that whatever happens, remain quite still. If your mind wanders, as soon as you notice, watch. Just be aware of those feelings, sounds, whatever it is that has interrupted your concentration, and let it go. And find the breath again. Try to remain absolutely still. When your mind moves, be aware of it. Just watch your mind. And keep coming back to being mindful and aware of your breathing. So Please keep your very good posture. Remain quite still. Continue sitting just as you are while I'm talking over the next few minutes. And when I'm speaking, all you need to do is to listen. That's all. So we're very fortunate again to be outside in the open. It's quite a warm evening, and it's a real privilege to be so close to nature. And of course, we all learn from nature. It's a tradition of Buddhist monks, forest monks especially, to look for these remote places, not only to be quiet and to be undisturbed, but also to be close to the nature of things, where it's easy to observe, to be conscious of things changing, things never, even for an instant, remaining quite the same. And in this country, of course, we have the added benefit of unpredictable weather. Ajahn Chah was very impressed by that when he came to England in 1977. In Thailand, it's generally always hot. And even though the seasons do change, they change only slightly, and from day to day are much more the same than ever it is here. So we learn from nature. Nature has the tendency to reveal for us the truth, things as they really are, which is a considerable relief because we live in a world of deceptions. There are forces around us that are continually doing their best to deceive us. The media, the newspapers, the politicians, even the entertainments depend on deceiving us. And we live with that. But worst of all, we tend to deceive ourselves. And what is it that deceives us but our own minds, our own inability to see the true nature of things? There are certain aspects of mind, certain tendencies of mind that are particularly guilty of deceiving us. We're deceived by love. We're deceived by hate. Of course, love is continually praised. It's thought of as a wonderful and beautiful ideal. But it deceives us. It blocks us from seeing the true nature of things, the things that we fall in love with. Why do we do that? Why do we find them so attractive, and why do we become attached? When the nature of those things, whatever they might be, whether they're people or objects or anything at all, or ideals, the nature of all of it is to change. It never stays the same. And so sooner or later, there is disappointment and unhappiness and a desire to have things back as they were, as we thought they should be. We've been deceived. We've deceived ourselves. And it happens over and over again. We don't seem to be able to get out of the habit of deceiving ourselves. And then, of course, when there is love, there is almost inevitably hate. You love one thing and you hate the other. We live in a very extraordinary area here for wildlife. Beautiful deer, foxes, small foxes, baby foxes, and yet people come out to kill them, not to just kill them, but to torture them. And today that happened. And of course, there you find yourself caught with love and hate. You love those creatures, and you can't help being averse to those who are taking delight in chasing them and torturing them. Love and hate entrap us. Love and hate deceive us. And why do they deceive us? Because our minds are embedded in ignorance. This is the great message of the Buddha's teaching on Paticcasamuppada, where he traced the origin of our craving and attachment back to ignorance. Ignorance of the true nature of things. Failing to understand anicca dukkha anatta, impermanence, suffering, and not self. But then we're also, of course, deceived by our ego, our egotism. That's a product too of our ignorance. This I am conceit, this view of me and mine. And of course it's a view, it's a tendency which is much encouraged. We've all been taught, I expect, I imagine, to assert ourselves, to be ambitious. And at some point we've believed that this is very necessary to cultivate and strengthen our ego in order to survive and succeed. And what a mistake it is. What a block it becomes on any kind of creativity, any ability to see the truth. It deceives us again and again. Our greed and our hatred, they emanate from ignorance and are supported by egotism. But then there's also, you see, coming along with ego, fear. And fear particularly of being harmed. Fear of being toppled. And that too deceives us. Because, of course, this is the nature of things. When we're afraid of it, we're resistant. We dislike it. The fact that things change, and that we're getting older, and our abilities are waning. We're deceived again and again by our own minds and really and truly our own ignorance. And to break these deceptions, we have to change our minds. We have to work with our minds to see things clearly, to see things as they are. This is the great message of Buddhism. Why do we call the Buddha the awakened one, the enlightened one? because he woke up. Not just woke up, but did more than that. Turned this bright light upon his mind, became enlightened. And the call is for us to do the same. And it matters that we try because, of course, we all matter. And our happiness matters. It matters a lot to us. Our happiness and our freedom, our peace of mind, it matters. And so it does matter that we make the effort, direct our lives in such a way that we can clear up the muddle. And the first thing to do with that is to practice meditation and work with your mind. And working with your mind, of course, has to be supported. And it has to be supported by trying to do things better, to live a better, more skillful and harmless way of life. And then you practice to train your mind, just as we have been this evening. And you find that when you make the effort to gather and concentrate your mind, that, of course, certainly to begin with, it makes you feel better because your mind isn't ranging around all over the place. You become sharper and you become better able to see through the deceptions, the everyday deceptions. You begin to realize over time the mistakes that you make. And ultimately, of course, that's what happens. That you clear your mind and you see things, you know things, you realize things for what they really are. And they're all, everything that we know, everything to do with what we call ourselves. These five aggregates, these five bundles of form, feeling, perception or memory, these aspects of mind that result from conditioning and create further conditions, and consciousness itself. All of it, devoid of any lasting reality, all of it without self, none of it me or mine. I imagine that most of us, most people, fear death. But what is it that dies? The body dies, the feelings die, the perception dies. These mental tendencies of ours, personal tendencies, they die. Consciousness dies. It's not me, not mine, not you or yours. So wake yourself up and endeavor to understand the nature of things and be free of your suffering, free of your attachments, your tendencies. It's not going to happen all at once, but start and do your best now to train your mind and to change your mind. So that's enough for me for tonight. We'll sit for just a few more moments, and during these closing moments, please concentrate your mind on loving kindness for yourself and for all beings everywhere. May you and all beings be well and happy. May you and all beings be free from all suffering. May you and all beings realize for yourselves the secure peace of Nibbana.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami.
So thank you all very much for coming. Very nice to see you again, and I'm hoping very much I'll see some of you here on Sunday. We can't guarantee the weather, but never mind. We'll manage. So please come if you can.